The NBA draft is in the books, and here to break it all down is NBA.com's Scott Howard Cooper. Scott, there weren't many surprises in the selections at least, but there was a fairly big surprise about an hour before the draft when the Portland Trail Blazers fired GM Kevin Pritchard. There had been speculation about his future after falling out of the good graces of owner Paul Allen. Was this the right move, and how surprised were you to see this go down at the timing of it?
Well, I think it's mainly the timing of it. Not a surprise that he would get fired. I think everybody saw that one coming. Even Kevin himself had acknowledged that the Blazers had a search underway to find his successor, but the timing is incredible. You know, to have it happen on the day of the draft, the evening of the draft, I think caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, he helped build a solid team around Brandon Roy after taking over in 2007, so a fairly big surprise in that regard. Now, as far as the #1 overall pick in the draft, the Washington Wizards took John Wall out of Kentucky, as expected. The third point guard taken first overall since 1996, joining Allen Iverson and Derrick Rose, a Hall of Famer, as you know, and an all-star. Do the Wizards have a future superstar in their hands with the first overall pick?
Well, it's certainly a very good possibility of that. He's a dynamic player. He does so many things out on the court. I think one of the interesting things is going to be how will he fit in with Gilbert Arenas? That's the question that John Wall has been getting quite a bit. These are both guys that need the ball in their hands to be effective. It may take a little bit of time. He's going to go through the normal rookie growing pains and then some, because it's going to be Gilbert Arenas working his way back into the lineup as well. The Wizards trying to get past everything that happened last season, and two guys that have the ball in their hands need to learn to coexist on the fly.
Now, Scott, there's been some talk of Gilbert Arenas probably, or at least being traded possibly by the deadline. Do you buy into that at all? Is he going to be a Wizard for the entire year?
Well, I can't tell you about the entire year, but I would say definitely he's going to be a Wizard at the start of the season. What happens from there is going to be entirely how he plays. There's obviously the injury concerns. Before we get into any of the other things, people need to know he's healthy. He's got a huge contract, so there's a lot of questions on whether he can last and make that pay off. And then there's the emotional aspect. You know, what is his mindset going to be? How is he prepared to fit into a team atmosphere instead of a Gilbert first atmosphere? Could he be traded at some point during the season? Yes, if he plays well enough. But at this point, he's very, very difficult to trade.
Now, Scott, in an effort to get under the salary cap, the New Orleans Hornets traded 11th overall pick Cole Aldridge and Mo Peterson to Oklahoma City for the 18th and 21st pick in the opening round. Did you like that move, and what does Cole bring to OKC immediately?
Well, I like the move for the Thunder. It's interesting if you look back and say, Oklahoma City is a team on the rise. What is the one thing that they needed to take that next step to continue to advance? You'd say they need a big man. They like Nenad Kristic. They loved his attitude, his energy that he brought, but he clearly was not what you would want as a starting center. Cole Aldridge was up there tonight bragging about that he brings toughness, shot blocking, rebounding. Those are all words that the people in Oklahoma City love to hear. For all the impression that the Thunder is a glitzy team because Kevin Durant leads the league in scoring, that the success of Oklahoma City is built on grit. They're a tough team that likes to play defense. I think he's going to fit in very well.
Now, every single year, as you know, there are sleepers. Last year in the second round, DeJuan Blair fell in San Antonio. Spurs picked him. Who in the draft so far fell a little lower than you expected that could possibly be a steal?
Well, I think maybe Hassan Whiteside. This is a guy that a few weeks ago people said he's got a realistic shot to go in the teens. That obviously proved to be very false. He ended up in the second round to the Kings. This is a guy that just needs to make a solid contribution to be a success, and that's something he can do. He's going to get an opportunity in Sacramento. The Kings really are loading up on inside players and defense. They acquired Samuel Dalembert in a trade. They drafted DeMarcus Cousins. Now they draft Hassan Whiteside. He looked very disappointed. He'd been sitting in the audience all night waiting for his name to be called. When he finally got to go up on stage, he looked like he'd had an awfully long night. But in the end, I think this is going to work out. This could be a very good opportunity for him.
Scott, looking forward to hearing a lot more from you coming up in the next few weeks. Thanks for taking the time.